Have you ever felt the urge to blend in with a crowd? To go with the flow, even if it means silencing your own thoughts? This is the power of groupthink and hive mind at play. Groupthink is a psychological condition which refers to a type of thinking that occurs when the desire for harmony or conformity in a group results in an irrational or dysfunctional decision-making outcome. It typically involves a group striving for consensus and unanimity, often at the expense of considering alternative viewpoints or dissenting opinions. Factors contributing to groupthink include strong group cohesion, isolation from outside influences, directive leadership, and high stress or time pressures. Instances like political or corporate decisions made without thorough analysis, where dissenting voices are silenced or ignored, can illustrate groupthink. Hive mind is a bit different and is a societal phenomenon which refers to a collective consciousness or consensus mentality that emerges when individuals within a group act or think in a similar manner, often influenced by social media, trends, or cultural norms. Hive mind can lead to rapid dissemination of ideas, behaviors, or beliefs within a community or society, sometimes resulting in conformity and group polarization. Hive mind can shape public opinion, consumer behavior, and cultural trends. It can also influence political movements and collective action. It's a collective consciousness where individuals think and act alike, almost like bees in a hive. Political campaigns very often propagate hive mind as their goal. Make no mistake, they know what they are doing. Social media platforms can be a good source of information, but they often exacerbate hive mind behaviors through viral trends, echo chambers, and the amplification of certain viewpoints or ideologies. This can be seen in trends, fads, and even political movements. Remember the Ice Bucket Challenge? Millions participated, driven by a shared sense of purpose and belonging. These phenomena are not inherently bad. They can foster cooperation and solidarity. However, they can also stifle creativity, critical thinking, and individual expression. In extreme cases, groupthink and hive mind can lead to harmful consequences, especially when exploited for malicious purposes. The psychology of conformity, or why we follow the herd. So, why do we conform? Psychologists point to several factors. Firstly, humans are social animals. We crave acceptance and belonging. Going against the grain can lead to isolation, which is evolutionarily disadvantageous. Secondly, we often look to others for information and guidance, rather than doing our own research, especially in ambiguous situations. If everyone else believes something, it's tempting to assume they must be right. This concept is known as social proof. Basically, it's assuming that the majority can't be wrong. Thirdly, groups often have established norms and hierarchies. Unfortunately, challenging these norms can be met with resistance or even punishment. The suppression of dissension or creation is an especially dangerous practice for any society. If you are progressive, the very practice of hive mind is against your core beliefs to think beyond the norms, so why are you supporting the suppression of speech that disagrees with the narrative? This is especially true in high-stakes situations, where the pressure to conform is immense and could even result in threats. Understanding these psychological underpinnings is crucial to recognizing the downsides of groupthink and hive mind. By being aware of our innate biases, we can start to think critically and make more independent decisions. Independence. That's what our country is based upon. Each person's right to question and express our opinions is constitutionally guaranteed for everyone, not just those that control the narrative. Have you ever heard of echo chambers and filter bubbles? These tactics show how groupthink shapes our worldview. In today's digital age, we are constantly bombarded with information. Social media platforms, with their sophisticated algorithms, often curate our feeds based on our past behavior and preferences. That alone is an invasion of our privacy. Most people would rather privately search for sex toys rather than have them plastering your personal life all over your Facebook and Instagram feed. And don't forget while you're watching your TV with your family and friends. This manipulation of the information fed to you can lead to echo chambers and filter bubbles, where we are only exposed to information that confirms our existing beliefs. Quickly, echo chambers and filter bubbles are both situations where people only hear opinions that reinforce their own beliefs, leading to limited exposure to diverse perspectives. There is a subtle distinction between the two. Echo chambers results from individuals seeking out like-minded opinions and information, often reinforced through social interactions and deliberate choices, such as joining Republican or Democratic bias groups. Filter bubbles are created by algorithms that allegedly personalize digital content based on a user's past behaviors and preferences, potentially limiting exposure to diverse viewpoints online. That's when you search for something and you are automatically bombarded with results on every electronic device you own. While this personalized experience can be comforting, it also reinforces groupthink. We become less likely to encounter opposing viewpoints, which are crucial for critical thinking and informed decision-making. This can lead to polarization and a decline in civil discourse. Moreover, since social media is full of automated bots, echo chambers can create a false sense of consensus depending on the programming of the bots. When we are constantly surrounded by people who agree with us, it's easy to assume that our views are universally shared. Suppose they weren't really people, but machines that have been programmed to agree or disagree with us. This creates so much polarization and can make us less empathetic and hostile towards those who hold different beliefs. Is this what you want? If someone wants to be perceived as an uncaring, hostile person, they need to see a shrink. The dangers of groupthink in decision-making, from Bay of Pigs to Challenger disaster. History is replete with examples of disastrous decisions made under the influence of groupthink. These tragedies highlight the critical importance of dissent and open communication in any decision-making process. When group cohesion becomes more important than critical analysis, the consequences can be catastrophic. Hive mind and political manipulation is the way to manufacture consent and silence dissent. Politics is a fertile ground for the manipulation of groupthink and hive mind. Propagandists and political strategists understand the power of conformity and use various tactics to sway public opinion. One common tactic is manufacturing consent, a term coined by Noam Chomsky. This involves controlling the narrative through mass media, using techniques like repetition, emotional appeals, and the selective presentation of information to shape public perception. Another tactic is the suppression of dissent. This can take many forms, from censorship and intimidation to online harassment and the spread of disinformation. By silencing opposing voices, those in power can create an illusion of unanimous support for their policies. The rise of social media has made these tactics even more potent. Algorithms can be used to amplify specific messages, target vulnerable populations, and create echo chambers that reinforce pre-existing biases. The internet is a double-edged sword when it comes to groupthink and hive mind. On the one hand, it has created unprecedented opportunities for connection and community building. Online platforms can connect like-minded individuals, fostering a sense of belonging and shared purpose. However, this interconnectedness also has a darker side. As we've seen, social media can facilitate the spread of misinformation, create echo chambers, and amplify groupthink. The anonymity of the internet can also embolden individuals to engage in online harassment and bullying, silencing dissenting voices and stifling debate. The key lies in using these tools responsibly and critically. We must be discerning consumers of information, actively seeking out diverse perspectives and engaging in respectful dialogue. We must also be wary of attempts to manipulate our opinions and behaviors through online platforms. So how do we break free from the potentially harmful influence of groupthink and hive mind? The answer lies in cultivating critical thinking and independent thought. Critical thinking involves questioning assumptions, analyzing evidence, and considering multiple perspectives before forming an opinion. It's about engaging with information actively, rather than passively consuming it. Independent thought goes hand in hand with critical thinking. It's about being able to form your own opinions based on your own analysis and judgment, even if they differ from the prevailing views of your social group. Developing these skills takes effort and practice. It requires actively seeking out diverse perspectives, questioning your own biases, and being willing to change your mind when presented with new information. Challenge the status quo. Diversity and dissent are essential ingredients for combating groupthink and fostering innovation. When people from different backgrounds with different experiences and perspectives come together, they are more likely to challenge assumptions and generate creative solutions. Dissent, in particular, plays a vital role. It's easy to go along with the crowd, especially when everyone else seems to agree. But dissenting voices, even when uncomfortable, force us to confront our own biases and consider alternative viewpoints. Creating a culture that values diversity and dissent requires conscious effort. It means actively seeking out and amplifying marginalized voices, creating safe spaces for open dialogue, and fostering an environment where it's okay to disagree respectfully. Never underestimate the power of your individual voice. While it can be daunting to speak out against the crowd, especially when those in power hold opposing views, history is filled with examples of individuals who have made a difference by standing up for what they believe in. From Rosa Parks refusing to give up her seat on a bus to Malala Yousafzai advocating for girls' education, individual acts of courage can inspire change and challenge the status quo. Speaking truth to power isn't always about grand gestures. It can be as simple as voicing your opinion in a meeting, challenging a biased statement, or sharing an article that presents a different perspective. Every voice matters. By finding your voice and using it to speak out against injustice, challenge harmful ideas, and promote critical thinking, you contribute to a more just and equitable society. In an age of increasing conformity, where social media algorithms and political propaganda can easily manipulate our thoughts and behaviors, it's more important than ever to embrace our individuality and think critically. Groupthink and hive mind are powerful forces that can lead to both positive and negative outcomes. By understanding their psychological underpinnings, recognizing their potential pitfalls, and actively cultivating critical thinking and independent thought, we can harness their benefits while mitigating their risks. Let us strive to create a world where diversity is celebrated, dissent is valued, and individuals are empowered to think for themselves and speak their truth. Share, engage, and spread the word. Did you find this essay thought-provoking? Help us spread the message. Share this article on your social media platforms and tag 3 friends who you think would benefit from reading it. Let's start a conversation about the importance of critical thinking and individuality in today's world. Don't forget to like this post and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content on psychology, society, and the power of individual thought.